Hi there. In this video, I'm just going to briefly go over how I would screen share a PowerPoint with a student doing virtual instruction who's using an iPad. So I've solicited the help of my son, Will. So hi, Will, and thank you for helping me with this. He's so excited to help me. So the first thing I would do, he's already logged on. I'm logged on. We're already logged on to Zoom. And I already have my PowerPoint opened. I always open the PowerPoint before I start the session so that I'm ready to go as soon as the student logs on. So I'm just going to hit screen share, and then I'm going to select what I want to do. Now, when I'm introducing a new concept with the new slide, one of the things we often will do is have the student's code. So I'm going to show you if I can, actually, let me show you how I got here. This is already zoomed. So this is what it looks like if I put it in present mode. Now, what's cool about PowerPoint is you can see down here, there's a little like a little handheld magnifying glass here. So if I click on that, it'll let me magnify. Boom, I've magnified that. So that's a pretty cool feature. I don't believe you can do that in Google Slides. I believe that's only something you can do in PowerPoint. There's a different feature with Google Slides. I found that it's not as user-friendly as the one that we have in PowerPoint. So in terms of using tools, you have two options when you're doing Zoom. You can either use these tools. So there's some tools here. And you can either make it skinny, you can highlight, just in case you're unfamiliar with that. So I'm just going to clear that. You can also do the same thing. Let me get out of there. You can also do the same thing with PowerPoint if you hover. But when you're in the mode where you're zoomed in, you can't access the tools in PowerPoint, so you'll have to use the Zoom tools. So I would always start by, after I've kind of taught the student, it's part of the direct instruction, I show the student how to code the word. So I would zoom in to make it easier. It fills up their screen. And then I would show them, so for OA is a vowel team, I would underline it, and then I would mark it with a macron to show that the O is the talking vowel. So that's how I would go about showing that. And then I would clear it and then click on the X. And now see, when I have that little hand, it lets me move it. So now I can move. And now if I want the student to do it, and I usually can focus in on a bunch of words at a time. So now, Will, I want you to give it a try. So Will's going to use his finger. He's going to click on the little pencil tool on the iPad, and he's going to underline the OA and mark with the macron. Now he's using his finger, so it's not quite as exact. Some kids will have that little pencil stylus, which is a little bit helpful, that iPad pen, if they have it. It's a little easier, but he's doing pretty well just with his finger there. And it's a great way to just keep them engaged. I find that the kids tend to really enjoy using the iPads, especially for my younger students. And then we'll go ahead and erase those. It's really easy for him. When he's done, he can just very simply erase, okay? And then if I want to get out of that zoomed in mode, I'm just going to hit escape, and that's it. And I zoom out there. Now I'm also going to show you when I do the dictation and I'm using the iPad. Oh, sorry, I have to get out of this. I want to show you something that's you can use for this. So if I want to manipulate these little chips, which I do use finger spelling, but I have some kids that are kind of resistant to finger spelling. And so what I'll have them do is I'll move the chips as the child segments the word. So in order to do that, though, I can't be in present mode. The thumbnails, if I want to see the thumbnails, they're here. But I can drag it like this and make it disappear. So I usually like to do that because I don't like the kids to see what's on the side. It's just distracting. So for instance, after we've now read these words, I'm going to dictate them. So if I'm dictating the word boat, I would ask the student to say boat and break it into the individual sounds. And Will's not used to this. We'll see how he does. Will, can you break the word boat into 3 sounds for me? Boat. Can you just go ahead and do that? And as you're doing that, I'm going to drag the chips. So just boat. Go ahead. Oh, we're not going to write yet. First, I want you to segment the sounds. Sorry, I didn't give him great directions. Okay, so Will, what if you were my student, you would be segmenting the sounds first orally, and you would say boat, and I would drag the chips. Can you do that for me? Go ahead.
Boat.
So we would do B, O, T. You can tell Will is not used to this kind of instruction. He's been reading for quite some time now. So you would just drag down B, O, T. There's 3 sounds. So it just shows the student visually that there are 3 sounds in the word. Okay, well, go ahead. Now you can spell the word boat. And now he would say and write boat, B, O, T. Again, he doesn't know what the OG lesson is like. He's never had an OG lesson. He's just my guinea pig helping me on the other end. And then if the student makes a mistake, they can just erase it. So we'll just erase it. You can use a little eraser and can go ahead and do it again. It's pretty easy for the kids to use. I've used this with first graders and they have no problem with the iPad. I think they're also really used to iPads. If a student has an iPad, they're used to using it. So it's not like if they're using a laptop, sometimes the technology is a little bit more confusing for them. So that's pretty much it. We can have them write directly on the screen. We can manipulate as long as we're not in present mode. And it's just a great way to engage the kids. And I love that you can kind of tap into that tactile kinesthetic by having them write directly onto the iPad. And it works really well for kids. So I hope this was helpful. If you've never done this and you would like to, if you have any questions, you can always reach out and shoot me an email, and I'm happy to answer any questions to help you implement this OG through distance learning with using the PowerPoint presentations. Thanks.